Okay, I haven't done this in a while, but I just thought I would share, a trade based on the context of the market again, and explaining why, even though this past few days the market's been going bearish, that I'm not looking to sell. Um, and I always start, as I say, from the week. All right. Uh, yes, the beginning of the week I wanted to see, because the market's running bullish, and you'll be able to see it a bit clearer on the daily. So let me make this bigger. Um, I wanted to see the market take out last week's high, so that was Friday, and on Monday it did that. Okay, but it opened up Monday and it took out the high and it started to come down. Now I always kind of have this void in my head, because it took a lot for the market to break through this void, right? So as you can see, it reacted off here and made new highs, and then when it came down, it struggled a bit to get through it, but ultimately last week's candle used, it was big news last week, so I was kind of expecting it either to push down even further into this big imbalance that I've always got my eye on now at the minute, or uh, break through this void, which is done. So, with that being said, on to the daily. As you can see, if I was to put a ray across, let's just do that quickly. Um, it struggled to break through this void. Eventually, it did, and then it used it to push off as momentum, just to take out, the sell side liquidity. Let's just say. And Friday pushed through it and closed, and as you can see, it's spiked into it now three times. So even though, yes, this whole entire week has been bearish as such, for me it's just taken out last week's high and coming to close up a little imbalance now, right? And it's done that. So I don't really expect it to go any further down, right? I feel like that's the pullback done, but ultimately I need a sign to see that. So looking at the 4 hour, and just let me remove this. And this guys in the mentorship have seen this. We've pulled down into this imbalance, right? At least to the midpoint of it. And we have, I just like to remove this, broke on the upside, taking out this high, all right? So, i.e., change of character. Come back down, fill up this imbalance here. So, if I was to box that off also, come down, we've almost completely filled it in. All right, and then I like to head straight into 15 minutes. I'm not really a 1 hour trader, and the market has run down into this little imbalance. And apologies, folks, if you can't really see this correctly, until it filled it up at least halfway again, and then on the 1 minute we started to break higher. Right, it didn't break this high quite yet until this candle here. All right, now when it did that, for me, that was the 1 minute change of character. Yes, down here, there's a little swing high and pushed up, and it's reacted back into the 15 minute and off. But I wasn't there for that. So I ultimately wanted to see this real prominent 1 minute swing high taken out, which it did. This little imbalance. So we floated above it for a while. We spiked down into it, which caused another break of structure. All right, so this one here, and ultimately I entered on this candle. Yes, it did not close above it. All right, but that spike above it was enough for me, and it was just before a bit of initial jobs claims news, which was out 6 minutes later. It was enough to tell me I do believe the market's going to go up, and on the news it was negative on the US dollar, and news doesn't always react that way. So it immediately started moving down quick, and I thought, okay, I actually think I'm on the right side, because retail traders would think, okay, bad news. Um, they're going to want to buy to start with. That makes sense. So they like to take out stop losses. But I left my stop loss here at 8.2 pips or 8 pips roughly, and just below this little imbalance because we've already spiked in it and out. So I kind of use that as my last line of defense, and had to take a little bit of heat. All right. Before it started moving into profits. Now I'm aiming for these highs, right? Because they're double taps, and every let's just say support and resistance trader likes to use these as their entries to sell. I like to look at them like liquidity, as I always do, and I like to see them getting run through. All right, so even if it comes up that and starts to stall a little, I still wouldn't be that nervous, you know. At least these highs, these double highs here. So imagine I just want to take parcels off here first. If we reach this, and then I'll probably move my stop loss just below this swing low. All right, I wouldn't move it to my entry just yet. I just would move it to this swing low with 80% taken off if we hit this, and then the remaining 20, I would like to see it take out these highs. Right, so it's not a massive amount of pips, but it's just over a 1 to 2.63 trade, risking around 1%. So I just thought I'd do that wee rundown off that trade, why I get in, and why I'm going against the bias of the market this week. As you can see, it's been heavily bearish, but I feel like it's filled in the imbalance that it was meant to, and now it's on the upward trajectory, like going with the higher time frame bias as such. All right, so just thought to give a wee rundown, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's just to help people with reading the market, okay? Because that is the hardest thing to do for me. As I mentioned, it always is the hardest thing to do, is knowing where exactly in the market you are. So yes, the daily, let's say, for example, is, and apologies about everything jumping about. That's the thing that annoys me about trading view the most. You know, we're moving bullish. All right. So yes, these few days have been going back, but that doesn't mean we're bearish now. It's just a pullback, or how I see the market. It's just a pullback. So I hope that helps. That's the reason I entered a buy. I don't really expect it now to take out yesterday's low. Because it's left double taps, I prefer now to see that as, as retail traders. And apologies, anybody that does trade this way, I don't see that as resistance. I see that as liquidity. So, as in, I see the market likes to run through double taps most of the time. Right? It doesn't usually leave equal highs like that without punching on through it. And that's just my style of trading. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that, folks. And I hope that's just a little bit more of an insight to trading.